This is the Geek News Central Podcast, bringing you the latest tech and science news, coming to you live from beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Save today at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Fans, strap yourself in for a great show. Geek News Central, the longest running tech podcast, is ready. It's showtime. Aloha and welcome to show number 914, this 19th day of December. I am Todd Cochran, your host, and welcome to Geek News Central. I tell you, glad to be here. Merry Christmas, everyone, and we got a great show lined up for you tonight. I want to give a warm welcome to our Ohana and all of our longtime listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for staying subscribed. And we've got a great, there's a lot of content in tonight's show. So if you're heading out this weekend, you're going to have lots of content to listen to. And this coming Saturday, we got a great new media show as well. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But again, warm welcome to the Ohana and all the listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. And, of course, thank you for being subscribed. We want you to make sure that you get over to geeknewscentral.com, check out the website, check out all the great articles that are being written by our great team of writers over there. Of course, don't forget about our other shows, Robot Underpants, The Chrome Show, Gadget Professor, Geek News Central, which is this show every Monday and Thursday night. And, of course, you can get signed up for the newsletter as well while you're over there. It's a piece of cake. All you do is click on the newsletter link, and that'll take you to the page where you get signed up. And what that's going to allow you to do is going to allow you to get the show notes delivered directly to your inbox so that you don't have to go over to gncshow.com/914. That's where the show notes are all at for all the extensive notes. You'll find the podcast, of course, at geeknewscentral.com. So don't worry about, you can come over here first. We have a link over to the GNC show notes website as well. You can follow me on Twitter real easily at Twitter, at Geek News. And, of course, you can email me geeknews@gmail.com as well. So feel free to get connected up and send comments about the show. There's a place on the website as well for you to send an audio comment. You'll find that right on the second column of the website. Of course, within the actual podcast post tonight, we'll have a Google Plus or Facebook pages. All that's going to be up there, and plus we're going to have an events page soon. We want you. We're really here in the throes of getting ready to go to Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show. So we want to make sure all of you get on our events page so you can be notified of some of the things we're doing. Some of our coverage will be really exciting for you to follow along. We'll be probably getting that up tomorrow. And I may send up a special mailing about that so that all of you can get connected up. Of course, you can watch the show on the Tech Podcast channel on the Tech Podcast Network, which we're a part of, on the Roku, on the Google, Roku, Boxy, Google TV, and a variety of other devices as well. So definitely check out the Tech Podcast channel as well. Hey, tonight's show is sponsored in part by my good friends over at GoDaddy.com. And we've really got great deals for you. They put together a whole bunch of stuff for you. And that 35% offer that was supposed to go away, it's still on. So this is a beauty of sometimes them forgetting to shut off a code. And really, you can find all my codes, all my promo codes. And this is a great Christmas present by giving a domain name. Give each of your kids a domain name. Set them up an account and give them a domain name. But you go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, and you're going to be able to get access to all of my promo codes. So all you have to do is look on there for the best one. It's going to save you some money. That 35% off code is still 35save6 is the code. Of course, we got some other hosting accounts, too. For $1 per month, you can get Website Builder plus a free domain by using the promo code WSB5. You can get $1.99.com by using 199 Geeks. You can get $1.99 per month economy hosting for 12 months with a free domain by using Host Off 3. So there's two great hosting offers. There's a great .com offer, and then there's just an overall code to save 35%. Now, you can't combine these, so choose wisely when you're picking something up. So, if you pick up a server or a virtual dedicated server or one of their products and services, that 35 save 6 is going to work on a new order. So definitely get that connected, get that hooked up, and you'll save a lot of cash in the process. That code, that 35% off deal does not happen very often whatsoever. But we want you to visit GoDaddy. It's go time over there, and enter one of my promo codes to save a lot of money. And that's what it's all about. It's me saving you cash when you're picking up a domain name, picking up a hosting account, picking up an email service, getting involved in the auctions. I'm about ready to put some podcast domains in the auction. I'll probably pre-announce those to the podcast community, but I'm going to put those auctions up on GoDaddy. We're going to see what they do. It's the first time I've auctioned some domains. I think it's time to shed some domains. I have 230 some domains, some that I had plans for a long time. I've never done anything with. So I'm going to put those up and make them available, and we'll see. We'll see if we get any bites, if anybody purchases them. So we'll keep our fingers crossed if that happens, and put a little cash in the checkbook, I guess, for better words, or in the PayPal account or wherever it may be. Okay, so let's see here. What is my stack here? Not too much tonight. It's we're really in the Christmas mode here. I was talking with my wife as we were driving around today. She'd been in Okinawa and gotten back, and I said, don't you feel it? It's Christmas time. And she kind of looked at me like, corner of her eye. It's just not really. I said, oh, come on now. The kids are in the Christmas spirit. It's time to, to kind of get in that mode. And let's, and so every year around Christmas time, I'm a big sucker for sausages, and specifically summer sausages, venison, wild game type of sausages. And generally it's a mix. It's a mix of venison, pork, but it's really, makes my mouth water, but it's really expensive to get it out here. I think I ordered from one of the online stores. Cabela's is who I ordered from. And, I think I ordered 3 things. It was like $65 or $70 for the product. And then because I forgot to get it in order in a week ago, to pay for 2-day deliveries, like $50. So, the delivery almost cost as much as the food did. But I'm really excited because I want that to kind of have around here available during Christmas. We have guests coming in and have some cheese and some crackers and some of this sausage out. And you just see here in Hawaii, they get that reaction of, what's this? This is really good. Where did you buy this? And little do they know it's come from a mainland vendor. This is the first time I've ever bought stuff from Cabela's, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully it's tasty. And the place I normally order it from, which is in Wisconsin, I just couldn't get it quick enough. I really delayed too long. So that's coming in. Two oldest kids are at a school dance tonight. They call it the Winter Festival. I think every school in the country has one of these, and they all got dressed up. But, I remember going to high school dances as a kid and paying like $2 at the door. It was $55 each. And I said, are they feeding you? And, of course, it's at a hotel and everything. So my wife is going to blast out of here in probably about an hour to go pick them up. So we'll get the rundown when they get home. My daughter and then my son and her girlfriend went. I think my daughter was meeting one of her friends there. The date she had originally had, that's kind of a story in itself that I probably don't need to go into. But needs to say, we had 2 tickets. And it's one of these dances where the girls invite the guys. And we had 2 tickets, and then the individual my daughter invited, how can I say this nicely? Well, he opted out. And in retrospect, she says, boy, that was kind of a dumb pick, wasn't it? But anyway, so they're having fun. At least I hope they're having fun. Hey, I want to remind you guys that we've got the Drop Cam special going on. And, Drop Cam is, I don't have it running tonight. I've got it turned off because we were doing some things around here, and I just basically forgot to plug it back in. But you can make it public or private, which I love. You can have it set up so it goes to DVR, so it records and goes to, a cloud location where it's actually recording. It's got this beautiful wide-angle view. You've got the ability to turn on the mic and to be able to do a 2-way conversation with people. You can actually have it you watch it on your iPad or your Android device with the DropCam app. So really, DropCam, I'm really impressed. It's just simple to set up. And I hope that you guys consider picking one of these up. Great for, your workshop, for your nanny cam, for, you're going out and doing all these parties and maybe leaving the kids home over the holidays. This is an absolutely fantastic camera. Now, it's $199, but let me just tell you, you watch watch live, high-def streaming of your home really from many. If you're going on vacation, getting ready to go away, you can stick this thing in a spot in your house where it's maybe pointing it to the door or the garage or some location where maybe you have a little bit of concern about. Point it out in the driveway, wherever you're going to locate it. As long as it's got a Wi-Fi connection, it'll continue to push and record everything that it sees. So definitely consider a drop cam. All you got to do is go to bit.ly/TPN drop, bit.ly/TPN drop. That was nice. I had the GoDaddy logo up there during the drop cam spot. But bit.ly/TPN drop is where you can go and get yourself a drop cam. All right, let me, what else is in my stack? Don't forget our Content Insider Coordinator, Sam. Have you become an insider? If you made a one-time contribution, definitely reach out to Sam and say, hey, I'm an insider, and he's going to get you added to all the list. He's going to get you on the mailing list. He's going to get you on the Google Plus page. That's our private place for our insiders. And I want to kick all the insiders in the butt just a little bit. Come on over to the Google Plus page and let's have a conversation. Now, we've got a regular community page as well that we want you all to participate in, so don't forget that's available for you. But more importantly, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and of course, happy holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas in the traditional way or not. But we want to just reach out and really be thankful for all of you that have been here and been a fan of the show and have continued to stay subscribed all these many, many years, going into our 10th year. Isn't that crazy? Fantastic. So let's go ahead and get into the tech. I've got a stack. I mean, I had to weed some stuff out tonight because it was just too much. But have you shopped at Target? If you did, anywhere between like Thanksgiving and like a few days ago, it's bad news. And I'm sure it's been all over the news when Target experiences a security breach that really doesn't go unnoticed. And so they had 40 million credit/debit cards stolen. So you know what really happens? This is something horrible, because what's going to happen is Target is going to go to all the credit card companies and say these were the cards that were stolen, and those credit card companies are going to cancel all of your cards. So what that really ends up happening here is you are going to potentially be without your primary credit card for the holidays. You may not get one. Now, MasterCard and Visa have had nothing to say. American Express stated that they were aware of the incident and have since put fraud controls into place on all those cards. So, again, if you've shopped at a Target recently, you may want to call your bank and ask for a new card. I would almost bet you're going to get a new card. But this is the second largest breach ever reported by a U.S. retailer. Target claims that the operation in which the card numbers were stolen was done over the course of 19 days, starting just before Thanksgiving, all the way until recently, where they were notified of the breach. Now, I've got a good buddy at Target that's part of their security team. And he helped us out at CES 2 years ago. And I've sent him an email, and so far, no response. I'm suspecting he's up to his eyeballs. He's one of their lead security guys over there, as far as he doesn't work with on the computer systems, but he's basically part of their investigative team. So I'm sure he is heavily involved in this. But this definitely could undermine the confidence of some shoppers who may have been considering shopping at Target but are going to now go somewhere else. But we'll see where this goes. Did you get a notice from Target? Have they emailed you? Have they contacted you? Did you get a letter? Love to hear from what the response. I have not. My wife and I had not shopped at Target. Matter of fact, I was thinking about going in there on a couple days after Black Friday, but I'm not a big Target shopper. We've got one here in Hawaii, but it's just, it's like a couple of other retail shops. I just don't go into them. Usually it's my wife, but she wasn't in there. So, knock on wood, we were safe on this one. But, it's just becoming a regular occurrence, almost a daily occurrence. And it's really kind of like, what's next, And I don't think any of our personal data is safe, really anymore at all. All right, now, we're all geeks. We all love our computers, and some of you have a Mac, some of you have a Mac Mini, some of you have a Windows machine, some of you may have an older Mac Pro. You just look in the studio here and what we got going on. We've got a Windows machine doing the audio recording. We got the TriCaster here that's running on Windows 7 base. You can't see the other computers, but the computer directly in front of me is a Windows machine. One of them is a screen where it duplicates what's going on. It's going on the live video feed, and the one here has all of the stuff that I'm going to cover, basically all my tabs. And then over on this corner, I've got a machine that basically monitors the chat room. And underneath the desk, there's a machine that's doing a secondary video capture just in case the TriCaster chokes, but it hasn't, knock on wood, hasn't choked in a long time. So a lot of diversity in computers here. But, I've had this Mac Pro now for a while. And from a video processing standpoint, it's got 8 cores. And I think I spent a lot. I think it's about a lot. Well, how much did I spend on it? $6,000 or $7,000 when I first bought it. Maybe I don't even know how old it is at this point. I can't remember. Maybe 5 years or more. It was right around the time we started doing video, which was I think episode 600 or something. So it's probably close to 5 years old. And in all rights, it's working good. The only problem it's got a RAID 0 problem. The battery went bad on the RAID drive. But overall, and boy, I just got to knock on wood here. This thing's been a trooper. Hasn't failed me. It's a fantastic machine. It's run. It's done what I wanted it to do. I do a lot of video processing with it. That's what its primary job in life is. So there's really no need for me to go out and upgrade to this new Mac Pro. And when I bought this machine to begin with, it was a big leap. It was a matter of fact, my accountant said, "How much?" And it was a year that we'd spent a lot of money on upgrading equipment. So, I don't even think I've got my full appreciation out of it from a tech standpoint, because I think it appreciates over, 3 years maybe. So maybe I have. But long story short, you see, if you've been running on a Mac Pro and you're like, whoa, you see this new machine come on the market, you have this inclination to go out and jump on it and buy the updated version. But it's truly not in my budget here. A fully loaded new Mac Pro, if you buy the 2 4K monitors to go along with it, which I wouldn't, would set you back, and hold on to your hat, $14,000. Now, that's a car, and that's maybe a couple of used cars. That's just insane. Now, if you don't need the monitors, you can spend $9,599 on a tricked out Mac Pro. And the question is, should you? Now, here's the thing that's really the kicker. The low end, what they call the low end, is still a whopping $3,000. Now, to those of you that are Windows guys, I know you're cringing, but we're going to come back to that in a second. But the low end Mac Pro at $3,000 is, in my opinion, probably one that you'd want to add some stuff to. Now, they say they aren't artificially limited, but the higher end $4,000 model, for example, you can't upgrade the CPU in the $1,299 or $1,799 iMac basis models. Those upgrades are only available to the $1,499 and $1,999 models. So starting at $2,999, $2,999, each individual component upgrade costs a certain amount. So if you want to go to a higher, the base CPU you get is a 3.7 gigahertz, 3.9 Turbo Boost quad core Xeon E5 1620. If you want to go to a 3.5 gigahertz 6-core Xeon E5 1650, $500 more. If you want to go to a 3.9 Turbo Boost 8-core, and I would never buy a Mac Pro without an 8-core, at least 8 cores, that's another $2,000. So $29.99, $49.99. Okay, so just to get to the 8-core is at least $5,000. Now, if you want to, you can buy it in 12 and 16-core versions. I don't choke to think what that would cost. But the 12 core is $3,500 more. That's the whole machine itself, just processor upgrades, right? So now if you want to put a better video card in it, you get two AMD FirePro D300 GPU, 2 gigabits of RAM with a GDDR5. But if you want to go to the AMD FirePro D500, 3 gigs of RAM, and it's still GDDR5, that's additional $400. If you want to go to a D700, it's $1,000. So, for me, I probably could live with the base video card. But still, let's say I go to the next level. So I'm at $49.99 to get the 8-core, another $500 or $400, so we're $44.99. Is that where we're at? Now, the RAM, it comes with 12 gigs of RAM. So what I think I would do, if I can upgrade the RAM myself, I'm not going to pay Apple to upgrade the RAM. I'm going to buy the RAM. Because go from 12 gigs of RAM to 32 gigs of RAM, you have to add $500. I don't know if I'd go to a bigger solid state drive. They give you a 256 gig drive as a base. But all told, if you did all the upgrades and took the $29.99 model to its highest extreme, $95.99. Now, if you go through the education, or if you're an Apple business customer, the education pricing for the same machine is only, $1,200 cheaper. And now this is just the tower only. So if you want a 4K monitor, which the majority of us will never need, those are like $4,000. Storage arrays start at $14.99 for 8 terabytes. So again, remember, this thing's not got like a full thing of hard drives in it. It comes with a 256 gig SSD drive. That's what's in it. There's no other hard drives. So the Apple fanboy in me is going to say, "You've got to be kidding me." And I just don't see it. Now, I love the fact that when I get done doing the show and start processing the video, the video's processing usually done about the same time, or at least the first video's processed about the same time I get the show notes done, and I can start uploading. It's fast, and that's really what I count on. Is I have to justify the money saved, and I'm at the point in my life where that little extra time for the video processing is not going to be something that I'm going to need in the near future. And then if you really look at, and I'm running Adobe Premiere, which will work both on Macs and, you can buy a PC version. It's just cheaper for me to go and buy a souped-up PC and put Premiere on that if this Mac Pro ever dies. Now, I got my MacBook here, but, let's be honest, a desktop always processes video faster than most because you're just limited in cores. If you don't have a time issue, it's never an issue. But this update to the Mac Pro line, as much as it's just, oh my God, it's incredibly expensive, but the machine is incredibly impressive. But again, with this machine, RAM is the only component in the new Mac Pro that users will be upgrade easily. And yet, we don't know 100% or at all. We don't know if it's some special, we don't know if Apple's done something weird there. But, So, yeah. If you want to see an unboxing of one, a bunch of sites have got one. Uber Gizmo has one. I'd love to play the video for you, but it's from a copyright standpoint, I can't. But is anyone buying one of these? And maybe what I'll do, and probably the chances of getting something crowdfunded for this, based on the success we had with the based on the success we had with the crowdfunding effort for our CES coverage, it's probably not even a glimmer of hope that we'd be able to crowdfund a Mac Pro here. But who knows? Maybe it's something we'll try next year sometime. But I don't know. At this point, I'm happy with I'm tapping it here. I'm happy with you down here, Mac Pro. You're not going anywhere anytime soon. All right, I should have had my Glass ready, but Google launched a My Glass app for the iPhone today. So using Google Glass and an iPhone is getting a bit easier, and they teased it earlier this week, but they officially launched it today. So this is giving those of us that have iPhone a very simpler way to manage the headset through My Glass. iPhone owners can add Wi-Fi networks, select which services are active on Glass, and display directions on the headset, which is new. That's something new. This is big. And the app can also stream Glass's display back into the iPhone, which is awesome. All right, a little bit. I want to talk just a little. It's been a while since I bashed on the RIAA, and I've got a couple things here I want to share with you because it's just 'tis the season. But hidden within the TPP, there is some new language where the RIAA has a secret plan to screw musicians out of their rights. And what's going on is that this TPP, no one's been able to see, but there's been stuff that's been leaked. And really what it is starting, so in 1978, there was the current version of the 1976 Copyright Act extended copyright rights, I think was 28 years or 26 years. So what's going on is in 2014, artists and stuff will be able to terminate and reclaim their rights to their content. So what's going on is that the RIAA wants to make sure EMI and Sony and all these other groups don't lose copyright control of all these songs that are going to start, or basically all these works. So they've secretly put in the TPP some language that basically makes it really hard for a content owner to reclaim his content. And what's sucky about this is there's just a few people there on the USTR's U.S. Trade Representatives IP Advisory Committee that are involved in the writing of this of these rules. So what's going on is one of the people that's on there is a RIAA employee. Neil Turkerkowitz from the RA is on this panel, and of course, doing away with termination rights is of utmost importance to the RIAA right now, because it was 35 years, because the timing, when the law went into effect, it actually went into effect in 1978. 35 years later, after 1970, is 2013, meaning next year, termination rights are now due, and the RA has been freaking out about this. So they're trying to destroy termination rights. And it's going to be a big battle this year. It'll give us a lot to talk about as we head into the new year. But, one of the things that, an example, many of you know the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Now, EMI is the one that holds the copyright on that. That song was written in 1934, at which time the maximum copyright that the author, Coots and Gillespie, could have hoped for was 56 years. 28 years upon registration, and another 20 years if they renewed. That means for the two of them, the incentive of having the copyright, which they then assigned away to another organization, lasted until 1990. And basically what they wanted was that they wanted, under the basic terms of the deal, that the public granted was basically that the public was going to become in the public domain in 1990. But due to the 1976 Copyright Act, which extended copyrights terms massively, that went into basically now. So there's this big battle going on over EMI trying to keep the copyright. And because the two authors are dead, the creators of the song, the writers of the song are dead, they've basically, EMI has just won this big lawsuit. At least there's initial ruling by a judge saying that, hey, because the two dead, that copyright's not transferable to heirs. So every time Santa Claus is Coming to Town's played on the radio, EMI ching ching gets cash register rung. But yet the song was supposed to be in the public domain in 1990. It's just like singing the Happy Birthday song. Happy birthday. I can't even sing it because I'd have to pay, pay money to sing the song. So it just, artists continue to get screwed over in a big, big way. And the RIAA is no friend, in my opinion, to artists worldwide. All right, moving on here. Roku has got YouTube. So this is pretty cool. Given that Google now's somewhat the plans for Google TV, YouTube has been one of the glaring omissions from the Roku platform. But not any longer. Roku's announced that YouTube channel is now available on the Roku 3 in USA, Canada, UK, Republic of Ireland. Older Rokus will be getting the channel next year, though the exact timing is unclear. For non-Roku owners, the channel is roughly equivalent to an app on other platforms, and the YouTube channel supports full 1080p, so that's pretty cool. And but anyway, this is exciting stuff here for Roku owners. $99 is what a Roku costs. Of course, every year, Google and NORAD have Santa trackers. So those of you that have or have children, small children, may find it fun to make use of the Santa tracker. Of course, typically TV will include updates on Santa's journey on Christmas Eve as part of their weather report. Now you can check two Santa trackers right from your desktop. The official NORAD Santa tracker is going to be available. And the Google Santa tracker also is available, has a countdown clock. So I've always, personally, I've always thought that the NORAD tracker was a little bit funny because it moves so fast on the map that even your kids would be like, how's that possible? So I want to thank Jen for writing that article up on Geek News Central. Of course, the previous article was about Roku was from Andrew, two of our fantastic writers at geeknewscentral.com. Hey, also tonight, just want to remind you, if you're getting a new gadget for Christmas, and you've got an old gadget that you quite don't know what to do with, and you want some cash, I want you to hold on to that because we're going to have an offer. Matter of fact, the links will be in the show notes. You can get some cash back for that device through Gazelle. And this is going to be the fastest way to really pay some Christmas bills, is to get any. Matter of fact, dig around in your cabinets, dig around in your drawers, pull all those devices out, and you may not get a lot of money for the older devices, but you might actually be able to cash in and get a whole bunch of money overall for all the devices you've got laying around. And if, everyone has a few, so definitely think about your geek here at Geek News Central when you're basically getting ready to figure out what you're going to do with those devices, and use Gazelle. We're going to do a couple of devices ourselves, so I'm going to talk to you about that as we move into the new year, what we got for the device, how the process worked. But we want you to consider Gazelle and follow the link that's in the show notes. And there's a banner up on geeknewscentral.com as well for you to follow. So we want you to, if you turn in a product to get some cash, use Gazelle and do it via Geek News Central, okay? All right, not surprisingly, dictionary.com chooses 2013 word of the year, and the word is privacy. Dictionary.com itemized 30 privacy-related news stories from 2013. They include by far the biggest one of the year, the Edward Snowden revelations about the NSA. And unlike twerk, privacy is about the furthest thing possible that's, it's been on everyone's lips this year. So very good. The word of the year is privacy by dictionary.com. Hey, those of you that have Final Cut Pro, there's been an update, brings 4K support and optimizations for the new Mac Pro. And I've got Final Cut on this one and Final Cut on that one, and for some reason it's not updating. I don't know what the story is. I think I bought Final Cut before it came out on. I think I bought it via a disc, so the update process might be different. I don't know, but hasn't given me the update. I'd like to see it, even though I really haven't been a big Final Cut user for a while. How many of you are familiar with showyou.com? I'm not at all familiar with this website. It's, I guess, like hugely popular. It tells me how much I know. But ShowYou is a social video discovery app, and they plan to revamp its iOS app and adding a new look that closely resembles a recently relaunched website and strips out a number of unnecessary features. But the review folks over at GigaOM are saying it's a nice change. So those of you that use ShowYou will be getting an update to that app on the iOS side, which is exciting. And I look at their traffic, and I'm like, whoa, these folks are moving. So I don't know how the system works, but it is available. Hey, those of you that use Simple.tv, Simple.tv is bringing its DVR for cord cutters to Ouya. They will launch an app for over-the-air DVR on Ouya devices next year. And, of course, I'm sure many of you are familiar with what an Ouya app is, but let me actually, wrong page. Let me bring this. Oh, come on, don't give me a pop-up. Ouya has 500-plus games, and let me load this up here. And it's pretty cool. So this basically is a TV app that has a lot of games, has different apps and so forth. But pretty exciting here what Ouya is doing, from a launch standpoint. But Simple.tv, again, is going to launch an app for over-the-air DVR on Ouya. And this is going to bring live and recorded TV to the Android-based game console. Provided that users also own Simple.tv's network DVR, the company is announcing Thursday that it will preview an app of Simple.tv at CES. We've already got them scheduled to be on. So be excited to check this out. And I guess, I'm going to have to look a little bit more into this Ouya itself. And let me see, how much is Ouya? So let me go to Amazon. Okay, let me load that up. How much is this thing? That's not bad. It's $99. Oh, that's Canadian. Let me see, what is it? US. Let me click buy now. Okay, go to Ouya.tv. And how much is it? It's $99 and $99. So maybe it's something we're going to have to try. Again, I'm not a big gamer, but all this kind of stuff, I gotta get a little more up to speed on this stuff because I'm not super familiar with it. So maybe it's time. It is $99, a cheap investment to do that. So, but Simple.tv, of course, will have some pretty cool features to it. All right, moving on here. AOL is finalizing talks to sell Winamp and Shoutcast. The suspected buyer is Microsoft. And hooray, there will be no shutdown supposedly tomorrow. There is some scam emails going around. Be careful, asking you to basically click and so be real careful. There's a lot of scam emails going around about Winamp, so just be aware. But apparently these negotiations are going, so maybe we'll know something tomorrow on Winamp. I'm a big Winamp user, love Winamp, have used it for many, 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 many years. Every once in a while I read an article that makes me want to revisit something that we have done and tried in the past. And I really, without going, I guess, well, there's a new torrent site. And it's a Spanish site, torrents.fm. And it's kind of an interesting thing. In 2008, Universal, Sony, EMI, and Spanish RIAA joined forces to file a 13 million euro lawsuit against MP2P Technologies, a company created by a Spaniard, Pablo Soto. And what basically happened is Pablo kicked their butts in court. So what has happened is that the Spanish government helped him with some funding, believe it or not. And so in December 2011, he received 1.6 million euros from the Spanish government to develop a new search engine called Foo Find, a project described by the government as having enormous potential for the future of our country. So now he's back, and he's ready to cause a bigger issue with this biggest filing sharing site, and he's launching his own BitTorrent client, but he's also releasing all the code as free software to ensure the open internet, along with a promise not to infringe on users' privacy. So this is a guy that has a company that's backed by the Spanish government that's going to be running a torrent site, and this could be large. Now, again, I'm going to be very straight up here and forewarn you. With everything going on, these 12 strikes or 3 strikes or 6 strikes or whatever we have here in the United States right now, I would be very, very cautious in going out and getting stuff over peer-to-peer. Just putting that out there from a legal standpoint. But at the same time, with Torrents.fm making available this code open source, it got me to thinking quite a little bit. And I'm going to have a discussion tomorrow with a developer, and maybe we're going to do something here at Geek News Central. Maybe we'll start making available the show again via torrents. I don't know how extensive this is, but it might be cool to do that again. And we did that very early on in the show's first couple hundred episodes. The episodes were available via a torrent. My hosting bill has obviously continued to go up over the years, and it's a significant bottom line number for me, from just a flat cost standpoint. So it might be just good to those that want to be able to access the show via a torrent, make it available, and it just kind of lower my hosting bill a little bit. But anyway, that we'll see where that goes in the new year. All right, Google's reporting a 68% jump in government takedown notices, and this is over on GigaOM. Now, let me just share something with you here, and this should scare you just a little bit. Governments made 3,846 takedown requests for the first half of 2013, which is up from 2,285 requests in the previous 6-month period. Overall, the request targeted 24,737 pieces of content. Now, here's the reasoning. A large percentage was defamation, privacy and security, adult content, electoral law, government criticism, copyright, impersonation, drug abuse, hate speech, religious offense. But a large portion of this request were government criticism. So governments were being criticized, and the governments were coming in and asking for the content to be removed. Not only that, politicians were asking for content to be removed as well. Now, not surprisingly, Google did not basically take all those, didn't act on all those requests. So there was a spike from Turkey, which demanded the most takedowns of any country, 1,673. The second biggest number came from the United States at 545, which was followed by Brazil, Russia, and India. And it goes on a little bit deeper, talking about, I think maybe less than half of those were actually complied with by Google. But, if the government doesn't like people saying about them, they can just, go out there and say, hey, Google, please take it down. And it comes from a government. I'm sure that gets some serious weight over there. Hey, talk about Livestream a little bit. Livestream arrives on bigger iOS screens with a new iPad-optimized app. So this may change my packing plans just a little bit. You guys know I've got the Padcaster, and I might just take an iPad. I've got an extra iPad that I've been using with my Padcaster, and we might take it with us and do some extra live streaming from the floor. We got to see what's going to take to set up a second stream. Whether or not we can do that successfully, we don't quite know yet. So it's me some experiments I'm going to be doing over here the next day. I know we can do it, but the thing is being able to get it to you, because we've got one pro account where we can take the embed and put it on a website. I don't know if I can have two streams going at once on the same account or not. At this point, I don't think so. But I think we're going to try doing some iOS stuff with this, which would be kind of cool to use the tablet, the iPad, to be able to do this. So pretty cool stuff here. Again, and I've got this whole gear set up to be able to just put the Padcaster on a tripod or even a monopod and stream. And got the mic set up, shotgun mic, the whole 9 yards here. So should be a lot of fun. We'll see where this leads. Something I'll have to kit up for sure. But very, very exciting stuff. And anyway, more about that later. Okay, NASA. Boy, oh boy. You remember this earlier this year, they had a spacesuit that leaked? Well, that same suit is going to be put to the test here. They're going to be doing some spacewalks. NASA's astronaut Mike Hopkins is going to be doing a spacewalk on the 21st and the 23rd and 25th to get the station repaired. And he's going to be using the spacesuit that previously sprung a water leak. So what they've done, and this is kind of some crazy stuff here, they repurposed some spacesuit parts. There's going to be a new pad that will be added to the back of all NASA spacesuit helmets to soak up water, should one leak again. Astronauts also, check this out, Velcroed a pipe into the suit, which is kind of a snorkel. That in the worst case would give an astronaut with a water leak an alternate route for drawing air. So if the water starts coming up, he can get on the snorkel and basically until his helmet fills up, he'll be okay. And they've got some new procedures in place for the astronauts themselves. They will monitor the helmet pad for fluid. And NASA additionally plotted out its spacewalk procedures, which included the use of the Canadian robotic arm on station to make sure that astronauts are always within reasonable reach of an airlock. So we'll see where this goes. But they replaced a fan. They think they know what happened, but you never know to get that thing out there in the vacuum of space and see how it's going to operate. I'm sure they'll all be on pins and needles for this, but we're about ready to undertake a 3-day repair to get the basically the cooler working again. There's always great time lapses, and I've seen some of these great stargazing time lapses, but I've got a new one I'm going to link up to you, and it's on YouTube. It's called Stargazing in the Canadian Rockies, and another incredible stargazing video. Very exciting stuff. Also, the folks at in China. Now, they're not saying why, but I think they didn't realize how hot it would be on the moon. Yes, it's warm. Do you guys realize that? So they've got their rover on the Sea of Rains, and this is right now the way the moon is in its orbit and positioning. Temperatures can hit 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and because it's basically high noon. And so Beijing, the Aerospace Command and Control Center, has decided to basically draw the shades and to give the rover a nap from science duties until December 23rd when things cool down a bit. So it's very hot on the surface of the moon. That's kind of weird, isn't it? It's a vacuum, but it's hot. And that's the same thing with the International Space Station. As it's orbiting, the orbit's going to start taking on December 29th. Basically, the inclination is going to put it in direct sunlight more, which will obviously raise the temperature. So no one really thinks, you think about space, you're thinking about being cold, right? Cold and sterile. Well, it's very sterile. But at the same time, it's, if you think about warm, of course, you get out from the direct sunlight, it gets very, very cold very, very quickly. But 120 degrees centigrade is not my idea of a place to hang out in very long. But they're going to have to wait a few days for things to cool down in the location that they're at. But they did get a picture of a Earth eclipse from the sun. And that happens obviously pretty regularly when you are in space, just because of where how the moon is situated. So very, very cool. Link will be up in the show notes on that. You can check it out. Of course, they have delayed the Cygnus launch, and they're going to push it to, I think, January 19th. It has to do, again, with the inclination of the International Space Station till it gets in a different position, and also the repair that's going on. So we're excited to see what's going to happen there. Switching gears, The Verge has an article that says how to steal Bitcoin in 3 easy steps. Now, I'm I'm not so sure that that's probably, what, they just almost, they're giving you a license, telling people how to steal something, to me is a little bit odd. And I guess this has become a topic of discussion because people don't understand how all of these, oh, that's weird. Okay, we'll take a cache copy. Oh, that didn't work either. Did The Verge take that version down? It didn't load. My website loaded, so it must be a Verge issue. Let's try that again. Verge may have took the article down. Isn't that curious? Or The Verge is down right now because it doesn't want to load. But anyway, they've... wow, it's not up. So let's go to theverge.com and see if... oh, The Verge might be down. Isn't that interesting? All right. Let me go. That site's up. All right. So The Verge is offline at this time. So hopefully this link isn't actually dead, but they talked about the 3 steps. 1, copying the keys, getting away with it, and number 3, get rich. So they talk about really how easy it is, and it's not that easy. You got to have the skills to get access to the key. And that's really what it is. You got to copy the key, and it's nothing more than a sequence of numbers and symbols. Once you get that, basically you own it. And then you just basically can move it around. But long story short, here they talk about it and some of the stuff going on with all this Bitcoin robbery action going on, and also Bitcoin values dropped because China shut down one of the major exchanges, and so Bitcoin's tanked. So it must be Bitcoins were getting pretty popular in China. Hey, Zuckerberg is selling Facebook shares worth about $2.3 billion US. So he's selling 41.4 million shares worth about $2.3 billion to pay a tax bill as part of an offering by the social network of 70 million Class A common shares. So Zuckerberg's sale reduces voting power to 56.1 from 58.8, the company said in a filing on Thursday. Facebook expects Zuckerberg to use most of the net proceeds from the sale to satisfy tax related to the exercise of an option to buy 60 million Class B shares. Each Class A share is entitled 1 vote, while Class B shares are entitled to 10 votes and are convertible at any time into Class A shares. So anyway, board member Mark Anderson is also going to sell 1.65 million Class A shares, and Facebook's going to be selling 27 million. So, boy, oh boy, this guy, he's got to pay Uncle Sam. That's part of it. So big sale here, and Facebook's stock took a little bit of a hit because of the sale that was announced today. Hey, rubber band machine gun. I know this isn't techie related, but everyone, I don't care if you're a lady or if you're a fella, you want one of these. Rubber band machine guns hold 672 rubber bands, and it's available on a Kickstarter at $100 a piece. Almost makes you want to go buy one, if nothing else, to put it on the shelf. But I just, they sell a little tool to help you load it so that you can load 14 rubber bands at a time. But when you pull the trigger, it propels a rubber band 26 feet, releasing 14 per second. And wow. My kids would love it. I would love to have one, but I just think at this point, maybe that's not something to buy. But it sure is tempting to have on the back shelf here. You guys want one of these for $100? Now that would be kind of a cool thing to have. But I'm sure my wife would not be happy with 674 rubber bands all over the house or wherever we shop them. Interesting comment by the former CIA chief. This was his exact words. Former CI Director James Woolsey responded to the suggestion of amnesty and even more strongly saying in a Fox News interview that Snowden should be hanged. He should be hanged from the neck until he is dead. He actually said, I think amnesty is idiotic. He should be prosecuted for treason. If convicted by a jury of his peers, he should be hanged by his neck until he is dead. We haven't hung anybody in the United States in many years, so I don't think that's even an option for for a capital case like that. Oh man. I keep telling you, this guy's going to end up with 2 bullets to the head. He's just going to he's going to be somewhere, and they say, oh, today's news, Snowden is reported as having been shot or choked on his own gun or something like that. So, all right, Verizon to publish data on phone records. Verizon Communications says it will publish information on the number of requests for customer records it receives from law enforcement agencies each year. The announcement Thursday from the largest U.S. cell phone carrier comes as a debate over data gathering by NSA and other organizations. Verizon said it will publish a report online early next year and update it twice a year. The report will provide the total number of law enforcement agency requests. In addition, it will break down the data into categories including subpoenas, court orders, and warrants. Verizon said it will also provide other details about the request for customer data, and they want to have some transparency, which is good. So we'll see where this leads. All right, this is not techie at all, but if you're at all interested in boating, you're going to want to look at the launching of the world's largest ship. And this is a shell ship that's going to be hanging out off the coast of Australia. This it's called, it's taller than the Empire State Building. It weighs 600,000 tons. The Prelude is a floating city that will suck natural gas from the ocean depths off the coast of Australia, liquefy 3.9 million tons each year, and then offload it to smaller ships to move it to the mainland. It's set to begin working in 2017 and will stay at its new home, 300 miles from the coast of Broome, Western Australia, through 2042. So it's going to get parked out there for 30 years. This thing's huge. It's like a half mile. Look at this thing on the video. Microsoft managers have been charged with inside training. The Securities and Exchange Commission is charging a senior Microsoft manager with insider training. Brian Jorgensen, a senior portfolio manager at Microsoft, has admitted he tipped his friend Steven Stoke about Microsoft's Barnes & Noble deal, allowing him to make money on the stock market. His friend made more than $200,000, and Jorgensen pocketed $40,000 for the information. This guy is going to jail. The SEC complaint alleged that Jorgensen and Stoke made a combined $393,000 in profits from the insider trading, which began in April of last year. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So apparently Microsoft helped the government with the investigation. Doesn't say whether he is a former employee or not. But this guy's going to the big house for sure. Hey, after 22 years, Walt Mossberg has wrote his final Wall Street Journal column. And so he is off to whatever he's going to do next. And but anyway, good run, Walt. Now, this is crazy. Listen to this. Listen up. Listen up. You're listening? RSA keys snatched by recording CPU sounds with a phone. And I read this, I'm like, what? It sounds crazy. But by placing a mobile phone with a specific app that's been designed next to a PC, researchers can listen to the faintest sound a CPU makes as it turns away on RSA encoded content and extracts the keys themselves. Okay, now just listen. I've been involved in electronics for many, many years. How does a chip give off noise? How can you hear a chip that's processing electrons make a noise? Is it a hum, a buzz? They don't go into a lot of detail, but people will say this would be preposterous, but the fact that Adair Shamir, one of the co-developers of the RSA encryption algorithm, co-wrote the paper that describes how to do it. The authors were able to experimentally succeed with their method using either an ungainly and extremely obvious parabolic antenna from 4 meters away, or by using a generic mobile phone from just 30 centimeters away. Listening. Just by listening. And it gets even worse. Merely touching the PC also allows an attacker to extract keys by measuring the electrical potential of the PC chassis. In this case, users who touch the PC and surreptitiously measured their electrical potential should be able to extract the keys and be persuading the victim to plug in an Incus-looking VGA or Ethernet cable into his laptop. The attacker could measure the shield potential. I'm like, what? I'm reading this and I want to see it. This to me is like, holy crap. So they're saying, and there's lots of noise in a room. I got a fan running here. I got a bunch of computers on. How can they filter all this out? Those of you that understand electronics, using a microphone to record sounds, to me, does not make any sense. But apparently they've done it. Nothing is sacred. Switching gears here. It's been a week or two since we heard a story about a judge somewhere being pissed off at Prenda AF Holdings? Well, down in Georgia, once again, they're back in court, and the judge is not happy. The judge is making serious demands on the lawyer that Prenda hired. Prior hindered a guy that was advertising on the Craigslist to go to court for people. Craigslist lawyer, that's a new one. Boy, I tell you got to be pretty desperate if you're advertising on Craigslist. But anyway, apparently this guy doesn't know too much. I don't know how he got his law license. But long story short, here the judge is going to. By the time this judge is done with these folks, it's going to be big cash awards again. So not surprising, Prenda is in the news, and a judge is not happy. All right, how many of you use Vine? Well, tomorrow, Vine is going to make available vanity URLs. Registration for vanity URLs begin at 9 a.m. At first, Twitter, which owns Vines, will only allow those verified Twitter accounts to reserve those. I don't think I've ever used Vine. Let me go. What is Vine? To be honest with you, there's so many doggone sites now. Let me go over here. Vine. That can't be it. Because I just went to Vine, and it's a site that's got, like, sales and stuff. That can't be Vine.com. All right. Of course, Vine.co. Okay, Vine.co. So let's go to Vine.co and look at it. Create and share beautiful looping videos. Okay, I know what that is. But, all right, so if you've got a verified username on Twitter, which almost no one has, you'll be able to get one. Then starting December 23rd, you're going to be able to get your own vanity URL as well. So if you're a big Vine user, knock yourself out. British Airways now let passengers use electronic devices gate to gate. Good on them. So congratulations to use it via BA. You now can use your iPads, Kindles, e-readers, and other electronic devices during all stages of flight without being told by the crew to turn them off. Hip, hip, hooray. So very, very cool. So that's the first one. We'll see when the next one comes. Those of you that want to check out a steam machine being torn down, they say they went and dug this thing. This thing's got like $1,300 in parts in it. So anyway, they got a full tore down at iFixit.com. How many of you like Optimus Prime? I can't imagine anyone not listening to this show that doesn't like that movie serious. Well, Optimus Prime has now been made into a gingerbread man. This is incredible. Over on Gizmodo, if you're thinking about baking and building a gingerbread house this holiday season, impress your friends, don't waste your time. Because a lady by the name of Caroline Erickson has easily claimed the title of Most Awesome Gingerbread Things of 2013, Building Optimus Prime. How long did that take? Now, check this out. This detailed creation was made for a gingerbread house competition in Norway, where the winner which better be Caroline, will pocket almost $6,500, even without decorations of a matrix of leadership made from frosting. This hands down wins, in my opinion. Very, very, very cool. So, Optimus Prime Gingerbread Man. How do you keep that from going bad very quick? All right, Detroit. If you live in Detroit, God bless you, but I know the situation in Detroit is not good. And all the people there that worked in the city of Detroit who've gotten screwed over by the government and lost their pensions, 10 cents on a dollar, whatever they're going to get, the pittance they're going to get because of their reorganization. What they're going to do now is they're going to give a free house to writers who will help revitalize Detroit. 78,000 buildings are sitting abandoned. Many of them have been burned out. The shells have been burned out. But there are plenty of efforts to bring a new wave of young creatives to town, like a fix-up plan here, to give writers free houses. Write a House is like an artist-in-residence program and a community redevelopment program wrapped into one. The nonprofit works with young Detroit builders to renovate abandoned homes, which will provide jobs and training for Detroit youth. Through an application process, then the group will choose writers from any in the world who can come live in the homes and contribute to the vibrancy of the local creative community. The nonprofit will also publish a journal of writings produced as well as document the renovation process. Why don't we take new media to Detroit? Why doesn't someone, and I know I have some listeners to this show that live in Michigan, why don't you go to these groups and why don't we take some of these buildings that are empty and let's work on doing new media in Detroit? You've got a lot of creative young people that are there that are kind of stuck. They have all kinds of talents, they're very vibrant. They want to succeed. And why don't we get a content creator who's got a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit and go to the city of Detroit and ask for a building and put, let's do a studio. Let's do a new media studio in Detroit. Let's tell stories about Detroit. With all the stuff that's there. And there are some beautiful areas in Detroit, along with some areas that are pretty bad. There could be some incredible content that come out of a city that's trying to be revitalized. And a lot of people that probably would be willing to make agreements to do content that, for a better word, are, trying to do anything. And we might be surprised in what we find in the talent department. Anybody in Michigan? If you're in Michigan and you think this is a possible idea, if you live close to Detroit or in Detroit, let's talk. I've got some ideas. Drop me an email here, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. All right, proposed California law demands anti-theft kill switch in all smartphones. I think this is smart. Why don't we have that? Why can't, if someone steals my smartphone, can I go in and kill it? If I can't recover it, I should be able to kill it. I think we should have this. I really, really do. That all smartphones sold should include a remote control kill switch as a deterrent against theft. If you do that, theft would just drop. It really would. What do you guys think? Think that would be a good thing to have? I just think it's smart. I think it's a way to go. All right, BitTorrent, they've come up with a serverless chat replaces usernames with crypto keys. So with BitTorrent chat, there aren't any usernames per se. You don't log in the classic sense. Instead, your identity is a cryptographic key pair. To everyone in the BitTorrent chat network at large, you are your public key. That means that if you want, you can use chat without telling anyone who you are. 2 users only need to exchange each other's public keys to be able to chat. This is kind of cool. So this allows encryption, and this would be good for businesses and so forth. So very, very cool. So each time you begin a conversation with one of your contacts, a temporary encryption key will be generated. Each of your key pairs, this key will be generated for this conversation and that conversation only, and then deleted forever. So very, very cool. Very, very cool stuff here. And they're going to sync the keys on a Dropbox file-like syncing system. So something to check out. But you can sign up for the private alpha now available. Hey, if you're interested in Airbnb has topped 10 million guest stays since launch. Now has 550,000 properties listed worldwide. Kind of a cool way to save some money when you're going to be staying someplace for 3, 4, 5 days, or even a couple of days. if you've got time, check out Airbnb. I think it's well worth it. All right, last couple articles tonight here. Yahoo Mail brings back the popular tabs feature. Yahoo got a lot of flack for this. So anyway, on Thursday, the company reintroduced the feature with 3 small, excited words. Tabs are back. And so now the email service allows users to turn on the tabs feature if they so choose. One of the chief knocks against the tabs was it became confusing for users. They had too many of them to open to find what they were looking for. So they provided a little preview tab. So those are back for those who uses Yahoo Mail. I get no email from someone that says Yahoo. All right, Twitter adds in-app notification for emergency alerts system as Brazil and Australia begin supporting it. So this alert system gains ability to pop up an in-app notification side of Twitter's apps today, utilizing the same pop-up toast notifications that its new apps use. For mentions and retweets, the notifications are red instead of blue and will only display if you subscribe to an organization's alert system. I think we need this on phones for like server outages and that kind of stuff. And finally tonight, the innards of a Mac are always a little bit of a mystery to me. And they've got a program now. It's memory clean, frees up your Mac's unused system reserved RAM. I'm always looking for ways to, kind of clean house. So this looks like a pretty cool app. I'll have a link up in the show notes for you to check out. All right, I want to get into the email here real quick. We're already in hour 10, so I don't want to take too much more time of your time. Let me go down here, and today is the 19th, and the last show was on the 16th, so that means anything after that time right there. Okay, here we go. Got an email from JP. Pearl Harbor, after the tours have gone, I never knew this. I'm glad that I know now. So let me bring this up. And, I'm very familiar with. It's a video. And it's about taking Pearl Harbor survivors back to the Arizona Memorial. And I've seen this video before. Definitely check it out. Give you something to think about here. Apple's got a TV patent. Well, what's going on is that over in BGR.com, Apple is developing a desk-free computer that could be a game changer, and they've applied for a patent. And I want to thank Jeff for sending this over. Link will be up in the show notes. When you see the patent in its application, you go like, very, very interesting. Another email from Jeff. He talks about Chrome. Google's Chrome OS is typically found in expensive Chromebook laptops, and includes a Chromebook desktop as well. At next month's Consumer Electronics Show, LG will put it into a desktop computer monitor. The company has announced the Chrome Base, a 21.5 all-in-one computer. And let me see if I can bring it up in the show notes. Let me flip over here. So basically, it's be a little bit different. It'll be just, here we go, pages loaded. So this is what it looks like. So this is kind of cool, yeah? And what they're going to do, they're actually going to put Chromebook, Chrome Base, or Chrome OS in just right in a monitor. Got an email from MS Small Biz. He says, hey, Todd, you're welcome to play the video, but I clipped out the audio and reduced it in some length. This is just nuts. It's one of the things to have a child. It's one thing to have a child read a potty book on the potty, but do we really want them using an iPad? What next? Give them a smoke? So it's kind of weird. I'm going to just provide the links for you guys, and you can go, oh, boy. Potty training a child is not difficult. I've actually, in my life, I've potty trained 5 kids. My ex-wife's sister's kid and my 4. And it's not difficult. If you need some tips on potty training your kid, feel free to email me. I got lots of experience. It's not difficult. I'll just put it this: when you go, they go. Okay, when you go, they go, and you do that every time. They get the hint pretty quick. They figure it out, and once they do, it's life changes. No more dirty diapers. And there's an article about Samsung's push to break free from Google. We'll have that link up in the show notes. And I got an email from Lauren, new listener of the show. She says, eBay has a strategy for taking on Amazon. It's all about forgetting your wallet. It's a New York Times article that came out on the 22nd. I have that link up in the show notes. Pretty cool. And finally tonight, got an email from Andrew. He says, another Indigo campaign, but this looks like fun. It's called Face Rig. And let me bring it up here in the link. And Face Rig is a program that enables anyone with a webcam to digitally embody any character they want. For now, they're focusing on just a portrait, but we aim to do more in the future. Now, some of these have been available for a while. We've seen some of these, but this is really kind of taking it to the next level. So if you're into this kind of stuff, Face Rig is facerig.com is the webpage. Link again will be up, in the show notes tonight. Well, everyone, thanks for the email. I definitely appreciate it. Andrew, Lauren, Jeff, MS, and JP. All of you, thank you for your email tonight. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for the love. Send your comments on the show. What do you guys think? Do you like the new intro? Do you kind of like the speed up at the beginning? Or, let me know. Let me know what you think. And, if you're heading out for the holidays, and I don't know what you guys' vacation plans are. I know we're still about 5 days away from Christmas, or actually 6 days away from Christmas. Take time with your family, enjoy, relax. It's time to it's at end of the year time. If you've got the vacation time, take a deep breath, spend some time with your kids. We want you to. I'm going to be doing that here. But everyone take care. We'll see you on the next show. There will be a podcast next week, 2 podcasts, because we're going to do one on the 23rd and we'll do one on the 26th. There may not be too much news on the 26th, but we're still going to be here. It might be a shorter show. We hope that you'll tune in. Maybe we can do one a little earlier in the evening so that you guys can watch live. For those of you on the live stream tonight, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Everyone take care. Merry Christmas, everyone. And hey, don't forget, become an insider. Check out Dropcam. Check out GoDaddy. And check out Gazelle. We want you to use our codes over there and help the show here. We appreciate it. Everyone take care. Next time. Aloha. Bye-bye, YouTube. All right, reload the YouTube channel page. All right, yes, I want to be on this account. Yes, take me back over there. Okay, we'll stop it now. Bye-bye.